welcome to the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff, and I'm the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery.
And I'm Becky, store manager at the Modern Skein.
I feel like we're very...
Yeah, I feel like the tripod's a little bit taller than usual.
Yeah, let me see.
I'm just gonna sit up really well. Encourage some good posture today.
Oh, there we go. That's a little better. I was like, hi.
Hello.
Okay. So,
she's got a finished.
Yay! So, this is the part where we go into finished objects. Normally, we blather on about something totally useless. Well, I will do that anyway, because the only reason I can stand to wear this is because it got magically cold last night. And I say cold, coldish. It's like in the maybe 60s right now.
Cooler than I feel like our normal temperature would be here
Yes.
at this time of year.
Especially since we had the one day at 90 already.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's in the 50s. It's very random. But I did finish my Yesteryears sweater by Max the Knitter, Maxim Cyr. So this is pattern in the worsted book from La Bien-Aimée, Amy Gilles. And this was knit out of Red Stag Fiber Highland DK. You may realize that Highland Sport we do stock in the shop. We have not yet gotten our shipment of Highland DK. However, you can go directly to redstagfiber.com, and that's F-I-B-R-E, the European spelling of fiber, and you can order the Highland DK straight from Josh at Red Stag. The colors that I used are cobblestone for the light gray. I knit the size, I'm pretty sure I knit the size 4. It's the 44-inch bust is what I knit. It's either the size 3 or the size 4. And I just used one skein of my so-called contrast color, which is what I start with. And then I used pretty sure it was 4 skeins. 4 skeins. I might have broken into the 5th because I switched to a new ball for my second sleeve, even though I had probably close to enough. But anyway, follow the yardage things. This color is Welsh Slate. And the great thing that I love about the Highland is you really get the tonality and the shifts in colors. You can really see that kind of on the body, how it kind of goes, not like a striping effect, but just a really fun tonality kind of pooling effect.
It came out so good.
Yes, it did. So it is written, the pattern is originally written, can't talk, for Corey worsted, which is a worsted weight. It's sold as a worsted weight yarn. It is, however, if you look on Ravelry and you look at stitch gauge and everything, it's closer to like a heavy DK. The Highland DK is very much so a heavy DK, if not borderline pushing worsted. I have no doubt people will be able to get worsted gauge with the Highland DK. It is a very plump, full yarn.
Yeah.
The cakes are like this big.
They're
massive.
Huge.
Yardage, I want to say, is like 240, 250, somewhere around in there, 246, something like that. So get pretty decent yardage on the Highland DK, and it is just lovely. It is a non-superwash yarn, so I did catch my floats, but I don't have any worry about them. They'll kind of slightly felt over time as well. And if you happen to go to any of the upcoming yarn festivals that Josh is exhibiting at, I know we are not exhibiting at these as the Modern Skein, but he is going as Red Stag Fiber to the Texas Yarn Lover event and to Yellow Rose in Seguin. So he's going to be at both of those, and I know for sure at Seguin, and I think also at the Yarn Lovers event, he will have Highland DK. But I know for sure in Seguin. Yeah. That's all I got for my finished object.
Woohoo!
Yay!
I do not have a finished object.
That's okay.
I'm close. I feel like I've been monogamously knitting on this for several days and casting things on.
I don't think knitting monogamously and casting things on
they don't work
in the same sentence.
I don't think so. But I have largely been just knitting on this.
Yes.
Which of course I decided to start a row, and now it's going to be weirder to try and open up and show y'all. So this is a test knit. This is for Wool and Pine, and today, Thursday, is actually the day I think it launches for pre-order. Since they do like the pre-order for all their patterns, you get a discount, and then they give you like a page about yarn requirements, gauge, so you can get ready for the pattern launch, which I believe is next week.
It's usually about a week,
a
week to a week and a half that they do it ahead of time.
So this is an interesting one. I have, I think, shown this a couple times before. It is a side-to-side construction. You start off with your right sleeve and then work across the back, which is a very large panel of just stockinette. It is nice and mindless. Good social knitting. I feel like I did a majority of this sitting here in the shop chatting with customers. And then you go back and pick up along underneath that sleeve and you work the front. And take this off to try and... The trying on of this, because it's side to side, is a little bit funky, but it's called float side because there is color work down the front, but it showcases the floats.
It's gonna be so good.
You work faux in the round, which means there's a nice tassel happening here, but there are instructions to hide it. You end up doing an I-cord later, but I am now past the color work, and there's little Latvian braids in here too that are real cute. But I'm past my increases on this side, and so now I'm just working for a few more rows until I join along the side seam and knit my second sleeve. So I'm getting there.
I would think because it is a lot of stockinette
Yep.
that, you know how some people don't want to take a sweater project with them on vacation or something else because there's usually a lot of detail, yoke, raglan shaping, sizing, or whatever. This would be a good option. Mm-hmm. Maybe get it started to the sleeve and then you have your cast on and then take it on your trip because it's just stockinette for the entirety of the back.
Yeah. And yeah, you could definitely do that. I would say they do have you use a provisional cast on when you go to work the back, so that then the front and the back become seamless along the side. Yeah. So I feel like
you might want to do that at home.
Like set that up maybe before right before you go, and then the back panel. I'm knitting mine with a decent amount of ease in it. And so it was a very large panel of stockinette. It was like 24 inches of stockinette. So it's a lot, but very doable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like it's the opposite of normal where you can like show off your floats. This time I'm going to show off my wrong side color work because it's just a bunch of little dots.
It's so cute.
Little almost honeycomb shapes. So the number of stripes are different for each size.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think some of the smaller sizes you only have four columns of dots. And then I think the larger ones you have 3. So, and by 3 I mean 6. It's 3 repeats of the chart. Goodness. I'm gonna take another sip of coffee.
I have my iced coffee here because it's summer and I've transitioned to iced coffee.
Yes.
And then don't mind me also sucking down my smoothie because I was feeling like a strawberry smoothie this morning and I put mini chocolate chips on the inside. Which they've all fallen to the bottom, so that's why I'm like vigorously sucking my smoothie. It's gonna be a little bit of a game of yarn chicken. Because that's hopeful. Your second ball?
Mm-hmm.
You might.
I might have enough. I scoped out last night, went on Ravelry and was like looking up, okay, who carries Life in the Long Grass? Okay, who has the right colorway? It's not going to be the right dye lot, but it is what it is.
I wonder if I have any of mine. I mean, it's slightly different, but I have the Cactus Musso left over from this. I don't think I got rid of it. I think I might still have that at home. I should go look and see.
Okay.
Because if you do run into something, then you've got some at least.
I'm confident I'll make it through, I think, the stockinette.
Mm-hmm.
And probably joining the sides. I'm a little worried after I try and do the sleeves. Yeah. And you end up picking up I-cord edge along the neck and the bottom. That's the part that makes me a little nervous. Mm-hmm. But I could easily... Worst case scenario, I add a bonus contrast.
True.
But my main color is Life in the Long Grass. And then these are all just different scrappy bits from my stash. Or that I borrowed from other projects that I'm about to start. Because this uses like 2 grams of each. So. That's my story.
Super fun. So I'm in the middle of a row here too. I have, when I finished this finally, I then pretty much, I have hiccups, pretty much have just been working on my Westfjords, although I need to this week get back into, I'll show it, my Kodiak. But I have picked up all my stitches. And I am in the decreasing section of the main body for my Westfjords. I just switched colors again. Yeah. Really wasn't too bad picking up all the stitches. I mean, it is a lot to pick up, but once you pick them up, you are decreasing. If nothing else, you're decreasing at least 1 stitch every row. Some of them you do decrease more. So it will just continue to get faster and faster, the rows. So I'm thinking I'll probably have this done maybe, depending on how, because I have a time period for my Kodiak. I need to get the Kodiak done before April 26th, because that's for Josh's show. So my goal is just to finish it by local yarn store day. That's my goal, which is April 30th. But let me show you. Of course, the colors I'm using, I am doing the 7-color version of Westfjords, and I am using Cottage Sock by Red Stag Fiber in Castle Rock, Cobblestone, Stonegate, and Welsh Slate, which is his 4 skein gray fade. And then I am using Ching Fiber Fox and Hedgehog Fibers Zenith and Saron Stitchers Old Lang Syne. So those are my colors. I actually think, except for the 4 skein fade, we probably are out of stock of all of the other colors. However,
Indeed.
We do have similar colors. Actually, Mad Tosh has a couple golds that are similar. We can definitely get you almost exact colors if you are looking for these kind of colors. I based mine basically off of the cover photo of the book, West Knits Best Knits Volume 3. So you can see he did a gray and gold combo, and I basically mimicked that with yarn that we have.
Yes.
Did you bring yours?
I did. Give me one moment
to dig through her bag.
It's a hot mess of a bag.
Again, don't mind me just enjoying a strawberry smoothie.
Okay. So I literally think I have done nothing on this since y'all saw it last time. I don't remember if I knit on it at last. I think the last time I worked on it might have been the day we podcasted last. So that Thursday evening. So I have finished my second, right wedge, or right set of wedges. So I have like 15 wedges done of the 65. I will be the first to admit that I have a slight problem with taking on test knits. And also sample knits. So some other things jumped in line ahead of this one. But I'm hoping I have a friend coming into town this weekend, and we're going to sit and knit. And hopefully I'll have the float side done mostly by the time she gets here, and I can kind of just mindlessly sit and knit and work on this. That's my plan. Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff in the works, friends.
Yes.
Maybe a few too many, but
Quite possibly, but
I mean, I feel like this is my version of YOLO. YOLO, sign up for the test. I don't think I've ever used that phrase, friends.
Why do the kids say YOLO?
I'm pretty sure the kids haven't said it in several years.
Probably not.
But I rolled my eyes real hard when I was teaching groups during the peak of that phrase. And here I am,
Using it.
several years later, not fully caffeinated yet, and using the phrase YOLO. Please tell us about your sweater.
There's anyone who doesn't know what YOLO means, it is not the yummy candy that has caramel in it called a Rolo.
I was like, that's a Rolo.
It is not that.
I haven't had those.
Those are good though.
Yeah.
No, it is you only live once, right? Yes.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
YOLO.
YOLO. Sign up for the test.
YOLO, buy all the yarn. I mean, that's kind of my thing. Cast on all the projects. And Duncan snagged this sweater again. He also got on top of our linen cabinet in with the sheets today, and then scared himself and couldn't get down, and then got very aggravated when I helped him down, and basically yelled at me, "I don't need help." Yes, that is my cat. Mm-hmm. So, back to knitting. This is the Kodakis. I completely have forgotten who it is by, but it is out of Laine magazine issue 13?
13?
13.
14's on pre-order.
Yes, I was like, we have the new one on pre-order, which if you want to secure your copy, you do need to pre-order. I'm not getting as many copies this time, so be sure, and the shipping cost is just ridiculous. Be sure and reserve your copy ASAP. That and a whole bunch of other magazines that are coming out in April are already on pre-order, as well as books, like the new Contrast books, which has 22 patterns in it. It's a really good book.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, all the patterns. You can see previews of them on Ravelry, and they're gorgeous. That, the new Making magazine is coming out in April, so you can reserve that. The new publication from the people behind Making magazines called Bright. It's just going to be a twice-a-year production. Mm-hmm. It is going to be a actual book plus like a QR code that you scan, and you get a full, completely digital and audio portions of it. They said they're going to include audio files as well, cool. Which is going to be really neat. But you get it all with your purchase of the actual physical book. So again, all of those are on pre-order. You can get them. Back to knitting. So this is Kodiak. Again, in the line of book. This is being knit out of Highland DK again. So this is a non-superwash yarn. However, any superwash DK or non-superwash DK, or even a light worsted would work for this for sure. It is a textured reverse stockinette sweater, so there is quite a bit of purling, but it is beautiful. Textural, cabley goodness. I split for sleeves, or joined for sleeves. Split for sleeves. Split for sleeves really means if you're going bottom up. So I guess it's joined in the round past the sleeves. Tomato, tomato. And now it's basically just working X amount of inches. So this is going to be worked, I think, 13 inches, and then doing the ribbing. But I'm actually thinking I'm going to go ahead and, while it's here, pick up and knit the sleeves, get them done, and then move on to the rest of the body, because I tend to procrastinate with sleeves. So if I get them done, I'll feel a little better about my timetable.
Yeah.
Color is Aberdeenshire. It's
one
a
of my
great
favorites.
color. It's that perfect gray taupe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really gray. It is taupe, brownie,
Yeah.
stone-like taupe.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. That's really all I've worked on. I actually haven't done a ton of, I mean, I have done a lot of knitting on this, clearly, but I haven't done a ton of knitting. We did some yard work and got the yard all squared away. Now it's covered in a nice, gorgeous layer of pollen.
Oh, yes.
But, yeah. Trying to think what else.
I've got one more that I have started.
Yes.
This was my...
Another test knit.
It is. I don't know if the name has been released. I think everywhere publicly it's still being just called
the Knitily series.
The Knitily number 5. So I'm going to go with that. I do know what the name is, but I'll wait until the designer announces it. So I got into the test knit for Caitlin Hunter to knit the Knitily number 5 sweater. It is gorgeous. She keeps posting teaser photos of it. It's an all-over color work, kind of a cropped fit with a really neat, subtle V-neck. So, as you can tell, I have made so much progress. I actually started knitting this in the collar in a different color, and then we found out that Caitlin needed more yarn. She needed to tap into a second skein for her main color, for the collar, one that starts at the collar. And so I frantically went and found the right colorway, because this was a old sock squad from Farmer's Daughter from 2021. And thankfully there were still some leftovers up on their website. Thank goodness. I went and I checked, and it was May of 2021, and there was still a bonus skein out there, and I was like, oh god, okay, here we go, it's mine. So it started off in the dark blue. I ripped that out and restarted to make sure I would have enough. So super exciting to look at. Hopefully I'll have more done to show you next time. I do have my little Surrey knitting companion here helping me out.
So cute.
And these are the 4 colors. Okay.
It's gonna be so good.
Very springy and bright. So the 2 teals and blues are both Farmer's Daughter Sock Squad on the yak bear paw base. And then these 2, the pink and the gold. This is Gold Rush, and this is Passion Fruit. I want to call it pomegranate every time. And they're both from Chelsea Lux from our trunk show.
Yep.
So, woohoo!
For some reason I wanted to call it pamplemousse just now.
I could see that. That kind of fits, actually.
It's definitely not. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that's not what it's called, but that's what I wanted to call it.
Yeah.
Anywho, I mean, I have other things going, as you all know.
Yep.
But they're in no state to be shown at the moment. I really need to not cast anything else on. I need to finish projects. Then, pesky things like work and we're trying to create a new website that I spent like 4 hours on yesterday, and all this stuff cuts into my knitting time. How rude. Yeah. How rude. Let's see. Ooh, we can talk about all of this.
This gorgeousness.
So, as you might have seen on Instagram, if you watch our lives or just looked at any of the photos we've shared, April we launched our yarn. Launching for the month of April is the Brooklyn Tweed Tones. So we finally got our shipment in of Tones. Tones is a worsted weight 100% American Columbia wool. Of course, the great thing about Brooklyn Tweed yarns is that it is all 100% American sheep, American fleece, spun, dyed, skeined, labeled, the whole shebang, all American products. So if you are looking for a 100% American sourced and created yarn, Brooklyn Tweed is honestly the only one that I am aware of. There are not the only large company, and I say large. They're still a small company, but a larger company. I'm sure there are other small farms that create their own yarns from their own fleeces, so that's an American-made yarn, obviously. But as far as a more, I hate to use the word commercial, they are more of a commercially done company, but it's a high quality yarn.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's commercial, but it's done with like, I feel like there's some practices in it that are still those you would see in a smaller,
correct. They are very
hand-done business.
Conscious, both ecologically, with dyes that they use, with the farms and the ranches, and all of the practices that those farms and ranches do, the scouring, all the things. You can go directly to the Brooklyn Tweed site and read. They have pages upon pages of all the information about the processes, the different types of certifications and requirements that they have for the places that they get their wool.
Yeah.
And then also on the inside of the label you see a little bit of history about that skein of yarn, which is really cool.
Which, fun fact, Tones is scoured in San Angelo. We realized this the other day with one of our customers that grew up in San Angelo, and she, because I was putting this on the website when she came in, and we were talking about just random things, and one of the things was that she grew up in an area where wool was big business, and like cotton and, the fiber industry was big in San Angelo, and how she thought there was maybe one plant that still did scouring. And I was like, hey, is it called this one? Or is it called this? And she was like, yeah, how'd you know? And so that was a neat kind of small world moment. But yeah, I really think that's super cool as someone that I also enjoy, like, the spinning side of fiber crafting, like knowing like this is where they were raised and what happened next and who did the things.
Yes. So they are commercially dyed. So they're not considered a hand dyed yarn. They are commercially dyed, which is a big labor intensive thing with fats and steam and pressure and all that fun stuff. But they still do recommend alternating skeins actually with the tones, because even though there are lot numbers, there can be, just because of the nature of the yarn itself, there can be some variations even within the dye lots. So just FYI, if you're a big fan of commercially dyed yarn because you don't alternate your skeins, just be aware you might potentially. This and dapple, I feel like you see it way more in dapple.
Dapple is real obvious when you see the skeins on a shelf.
But like, there's a couple of these that I've looked at. I'm like, oh, you may not see it much in the skein, but you would probably see it in your work if you did not alternate skeins.
Yeah.
But that being said, the whole thing about tones is that these are both the same color. So this is both Granada, but the lighter version is the overtone, this Granada is the undertone. So you can see there's like, you know, just some shading differences. This almost has like a darker heather underneath it, and this one's a bit lighter. So it is woolen spun worsted weight yarn. It is 3-ply, 24 microns. Again, American Columbia wool, 140 yards. So same yardage as Shelter, if you're familiar with working with Shelter. I do think it is a bit softer than Shelter. Kind of, I feel personally it falls in between Shelter and Arbor as far as its softness goes. So bear that in mind. So this is, like I said, the Granada colorway. So the undertone is the dark, the overtone is the lighter. And we're just going to go through colors. Some colors we've already sold out of completely. Others we are getting low in. So if you are, I would say if you fall in love with one of these, go ahead and grab it ASAP. This is Vacay. I'm going to do it this way. So this is the overtone. Again, overtone is lighter. Undertone is darker. Now in my brain, I would flip that around, but that's not what they did. So undertone is darker, overtone is lighter. Again, this is Vacay.
We got Stonewash.
Overtone, undertone.
And I'm going to pull this one in now so you can see the difference. We are also, so this is Nimbus. Nimbus, we are out of the overtone. But just to kind of do a side by side because they are very close.
They are, but this is a touch more tealy blue, whereas this is a little more periwinkly grayish.
It's easier to see, I think, with the overtone skein, but just
bear in mind. And I would say Stonewashed is definitely the bluest of all the colors.
Yeah, very much like a Stonewash denim.
Yeah, because Vacay obviously is teal. The Granada is definitely a green, mint celadon, and then, like I said, the Nimbus is borderline like a periwinkle purple. Then we have, transitioning over, this is Hollyhock. Again, undertone, overtone. This is a fun, bright one. Very magenta.
Persimmon.
I love that.
It's so good. It is really, this I feel like is one that you really like, the difference in the depth of the color on the two is really there. So undertone, overtone.
Then we have Melba. So this is the overtone, this is the undertone. This is definitely like a coral pink color. Why don't you show this one, because that's similar.
And then also in the pink family in tones is Lychee. This is your undertone, overtone.
See, now you can see, I feel like you can see it fairly decently on camera. This is more of the coral pink. This is more of just like pinky pink.
Yeah, like a rosy
pink.
The overtone makes me think of the Shelter colorway Camper.
Yes.
It's very similar. A little bit, a touch brighter, I'd say, but very similar.
That, yeah, a rosy kind of pink.
Yeah.
This one, we are out of the undertone, so this is the overtone of Baseline. So just a standard light gray.
If you're looking for a purple, Wallflower is the purple option in tones. Very much a nice lilac-y kind of a purple color.
And last but not least, this is Zest. This is your overtone and your undertone. This is definitely what I would consider to be more of a chartreuse green. It's not truly a yellow.
Yep.
It is like limey, zesty, chartreusey.
We are...
That's the colors.
Yeah. I was going to say the undertone of the Baseline is on back order.
Oh, okay.
And then there is another color that both under and overtone are listed as on back order for us. And it's I think it's Goldfinch. So
That's right.
basically this,
The gold color.
but a touch lighter and a touch darker.
Yeah. So when we get those in, we'll obviously let you guys know. That being said, we have sold out of several of them. On the off chance that you like fell in love with something, but we are limited, we don't have enough quantity or whatever, with Brooklyn Tweed, we can do some special orders. There may be a wait depending on if it is available in stock to be shipped or not. So do contact us with any questions that you have about that. Sometimes the wait isn't very long. Other times the wait can be a bit long. So I just found out the wait time on hedgehog fiber this morning.
Oh, buddy.
17 weeks.
Oh.
It means August. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a customer that wanted a special order. I've special ordered it, but they just got back with me. I guess better special order that a while ago.
Oof.
And I was like, I haven't heard from them. They're 17 weeks behind.
You know, I mean, good for them.
I mean, yeah, it's great for them. It just means they're super busy.
Yeah.
Which I did wonder if they were like really crazy busy, because on their website they only have one yarn in stock.
Oh, wow.
Everything else is like dyed to order.
Interesting.
Yeah. So hopefully it's just a lot of production and they're not having trouble getting yarns. I feel like right now in the yarn industry we're almost getting a delayed kind of supply chain issue right now, because we had some, back in 2020, and then it was all good, and now it seems to be some things are taking longer than others. So oh well.
It's all good.
Yes, we have yarn. If we don't have the yarn you're looking for, we can definitely find a substitute for sure. We did go through, or at least I did, go through all of the book recommendations that you guys have. Definitely.
I have not yet,
Yeah,
but I need
to.
to. I saw like some of the comments popping up, so I looked at the ones like when I saw them pop in.
So there's definitely some good book recommendations. I'm going to have to add those to my list. I did finish The Lost Apothecary.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one.
We're going to have to chat about your thoughts after this.
Definitely. Let's see what else. Local Yarn Store Day is April 30th. If you are in town, definitely come by the shop and check it out. FYI, we will have 2 trunk shows for Local Yarn Store Day.
Yep.
We will be launching some new things. I already forgot what they are, but we'll have some new things in store for Local Yarn Store Day. We're going to have some exclusive Local Yarn Store Day items from Katrinkles as well. There will be a fun festival happening downtown. That being said, we just got word yesterday it will not be closing McCown Street. Yay! So, yes, there will be more people in town, so it may be harder to find a parking spot, but you can still access us just like normal. There's not going to be any funky street closures for our area of downtown. Over by the community center, if you're familiar with the area, the street will be closed down there, but not affecting McCown Street. I do think they're gonna maybe not like close it, but like have cops out on 149, like directing the traffic. So if you come like 149 from the Huntsville area, which I know some of you guys do, you may want to take the cut around on Lone Star Parkway and just take the long way around. But other than that, it's not going to affect us. But the good news is if you've got husband, kids, friends, family, whatever that want to make a day of it, it's the Antique Festival, which is really fun. All the antique stores go all out. There's usually food vendors and drink vendors. The wineries come out and have pop-up tents and things like that.
It's a fun weekend.
It really is a fun weekend. So you can spend the day at the yarn shop. They can go wander around, or you can do half day here. Leave your car parked here. Go wander the event. They are going to have event parking. And they usually offer, the Boy Scouts do a little golf cart shuttle which you're more than welcome to take and then just walk into the shop as well.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a fun time for sure. Trying to think of what else. For Easter, again, for locals, we are closed on Mondays for the spring and summer. We reopen during Texas Yarn Trail on Mondays and stay open through the fall season and winter. But we will be closed, of course, Easter Monday, and we will be closing early on the Saturday before Easter, which is the 16th, I think.
That is, yes.
I think 16th,
yes. Easter is the 17th.
Yes. So the 16th, Saturday, we will be open 10 to 3 on that day. So just bear in mind, come early, have fun. I'll probably bring some sort of snack.
Snacks.
I mean, you can pretty much always find a snack here.
Yeah. We're
won't
big
go
fans
hungry.
of snacks.
We like snacks and coffee and drinks and all the things. After local yarn store day, then we start thinking about National Knit in Public Day, which is like the first part of June. Yep. I think June 8th, I want to say. That could be totally wrong.
But I feel like every year it's like when we've hit the summer heat in Texas.
Yeah, when it gets really, really hot and you don't want to be outside anymore, then you go sit outside for Knit in Public Day.
I mean, I think knitting in public in the store also counts.
That totally counts. Totally counts. I mean, you can always stop for 5 minutes at a coffee shop on the way in, knit while you're getting your coffee and then come in. Then you've knit in public, you know. Definitely sign up for our newsletter for all of our up-to-date. We've done an up-to-date, I'll say through May and June, I think, class schedule. So that is available on the website, of course, in our newsletter. We always have what's going on in our newsletter as well. And then, of course, the Kit of the Week is always sent out. So definitely want to get on that. And that's about all I have to talk about.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
There's not much else to share.
Nah.
So, yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you. We will podcast before local yarn store day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you before then. Bye, guys.
Toodles.